So this is my Halloween set, and somebody actually DM'd me about this set, asking me the mentality of my clients. With the whole creepy child-looking stuff with the severed head. But I had to explain, to my friend that this was actually my idea. I wanted to do a Halloween set that wasn't the typical Halloween set. The cute vampires and all that stuff, which I did do on a few clients, but this is my client that allows me to do anything. So I figured, why not do, this on her? So I went ahead and, just looked for a bunch of ideas on Google and found this little chick with the knife and the blood and, the cat holding onto her leg and all that stuff. So it came out pretty good. I actually ran out of time, so I didn't get to do the other thing that I wanted to do on the other white nails. So I ended up just doing that red spider, which wasn't my original intention. Here, I'm just going through the motions of doing a fill, removing the polish, and making sure that the structure of the nails are still intact. She does have average length nail plates, but she wears them very well, so I have no problem with giving her long nails or extra long nails. Like, this is one of my clients that really knows how to rock long nails and wear them successfully, whether it's with artwork or gems, and she will come back with all her gems. For this particular set that we did prior, I wanted to try something, but it didn't work out, but she still liked it and it was all good. Here I'm doing a valley because she had a crack across her thumb plate, and I'm just drilling it out and fixing it. On this nail, she told me that it actually broke off and lifted a lot, so I'm holding on to the nail plate as I'm removing the polish, just to make sure that it doesn't vibrate too much if it was hurting. And I went ahead and removed as much of the product as I possibly can from the nail plate, and after this I used my sanding bit to bring it down as smooth as possible, almost as if to say I was doing a fresh set onto a fresh nail plate with no product on it. But all I really did was just to provide a fresh set by removing all the previous product that was there. And sorry about my voice, I'm actually stuffy right now, which is besides the point. So one of the things for this set was I had a bunch of ideas that was really white based, but because we just removed white, I didn't want to go ahead and do white again. And I was thinking about doing something glow in the dark, which, had I thought about it at the time, I was so focused on that little scary kid that I never thought about making the background glow in the dark, so it would have popped more. So it was cool either way. I'm priming, dehydrating, and I'm about to do my fill. And it was a quick and easy fill. Once it's my fill from my clients that come to me regular, I really don't have a lot of work to do per se, so I really don't spend that much time on fills that are mine. It's only when I have fills done from other people that I actually spend more time doing a fill. I can actually do a fill in like 20-25 minutes as long as it's my work and there's no issues, like no lifting and none of that. So this was a quick and easy fill. I wanted to get it out the way as soon as possible so that I can get it to my artwork, because I was having multiple ideas and I was still trying to figure it out at this time of the process, which my client, God bless her, really didn't care either way. She just knew that she was going to like it regardless. So here I'm just reshaping out everything, making sure that the shape is on point, precise, checking my apex and the points and the tips to my stilettos, and just getting the surface really ready to do my artwork. I use a fine bit here, a fine safety comb bit, which I kind of go opposite, because sometimes I'll use an extra fine as well and then go in with my emery board to fine tune my shape. But the emery boards that I use are usually 180s and 150s, so it really doesn't aggravate the nail plate after I use the drill bit, so it kind of works opposite, but it works for me as well. And I always take that buffer, that 240 buffer, 280 buffer, and just go ahead and smooth it off. I'm wiping the nail plate off with alcohol, getting everything ready. I'm using gelish for this entire set. I use this gelish white simply because the other whites that I had was actually too white. I didn't want anything stark white. I wanted something that was more milky, and this is the best one I had, so I just used it. Along with that red, I didn't want anything that was too opaque. I kind of wanted a red that was bright but somewhat transparent. So, this brand is really what I use for this set, and it came out pretty good. I'm applying my black, just thin coats, going through the motions of doing the fill and polishing it, getting everything ready. Like I said, this red really facilitated what I wanted. I wanted something that was bright but not very opaque. I wanted it to have a somewhat semi-transparent look that was still rich, but not overly harsh with the color. So this actually worked out perfectly for me. Usually I would use like a Carami or a Valentino, but this gelish actually really did the trick. I'm doing the second coats of all the polishes on all 10 fingers and stuff. I'm only showing one hand right now, but I really, I'm just really just getting excited to do this set, because I was really not really nervous per se, but I was kind of like iffy about doing the child with the severed head. So I wanted to like focus on just doing backgrounds on the red, and I did like scary forest trees with no leaves. I was gonna do like the little birds and the bats and stuff, but that was like typical, so I kind of wanted to not do that. So I really just did like these little scary forest trees that would have like no leaves on it and the red sky in the background. But I didn't like draw a sky, I just had a basic red nail, and I used the wipe actually, and just dipped it into the gel polish and just dabbed it on the nail, and that's how I got like this little faded black background. As I'm going through and drawing the branches of my tree, I'm really not focusing on the accuracy of it. I'm really just dropping down lines in any direction, the same way I would if I was like doing a lightning band, but just repeating the process and cross hatching the lines. Because like if you stand out in a hollow section and you look at a tree as a silhouette, that's how it looks, so that's what I wanted to create. I did do this face that I found as well, and it was kind of creepy, and I liked that whole concept. I didn't want to do any blood drip or anything like that, nor any white ghost in sheets, not my style. And so I just found these, this little image here, and I was just duplicating it from Google, and it came out pretty cool. Once again, had I thought about it at the time, I would have actually made him glow, or made it glow. So the black and everything else would have glowed had I thought about it, but I really didn't, so it didn't matter. On these two nails, because I knew that I never had a lot of time, I just improvised by just doing like, this little slight coffin look on this nail. And then I had it already intended to just put gems on. So this is exactly what I did with this, just so that I can facilitate the time, so that I could do my next line. That actually got here early actually, so it worked out. And my client wasn't tripping either, so that was kind of cool. This gel paint that I'm actually using is actually also from Gelish. It's actually nice. It's pretty thick and flexible, and I like that. It worked out. Here I'm taking regular gel polish and using my fading brush, and I'm applying my hand pretty heavy. In all honesty, I'm not good at polish fading for whatever reason, so I just move my hands about just to kind of have it fade out and kind of get it looking as messy as I possibly can. I wasn't trying to have the polish look perfect at all. My first attempt was actually not a good one. I got my sizing and everything all wrong, so I wiped it off. It messed up my original background, so I had to do it over, and it looked even messier, which actually worked out just to make it even more perfect. So my second attempt, I actually did get my spacing much more better, and I'm going through, doing my shapes and stuff like that before I actually start to doing any fill outs for the silhouette. And it started coming together, one stroke at a time. I was really concerned more about getting the size of this. I've never actually drawn anything like this on a nail to say a full body and a full image. I've just done parts of an image. So this was kind of like very interesting for me to get the entire look out. I had to pre-visualize because I don't usually pre-draw. What I do is I do a visual scale of my artwork and project it onto the nail, get a sizing visually, and then from there I go ahead and start applying. I may actually start trying to pre-draw first for my art pieces and then go ahead and do the fillings like how I see a lot of other techs do it. It might work for me, it might not work out for me. Everybody has their own technique and method. I like the fact that I'm able to just look and project and then go ahead and scale visually without having to pre-draw. But then I guess with pre-drawing, it may come with some more accuracy. I'm not sure. I'll test out both methods and see. But this is what I'm accustomed to doing. I'm accustomed to just literally just looking at my space in and just visualizing and projecting it onto the base, and then go ahead and apply. So I'm going ahead doing the cat, trying to get it highlighted. The leg section was a little bit thicker, so I kind of wiped it out as you saw earlier. And I'm about to start focusing on the headpiece in a minute. I had to really utilize my lightest touch just to get this properly because this is very different for me. I just reapplied black gel polish on the background to kind of like give it, make it more darker, and it kind of helped with the fade in the background. So, it really came together pretty well. Adding the blood, I did make a mistake. I was supposed to do the blood first and then draw the cat afterward, but that didn't work out. That's not how I did it, but it still worked out regardless. I had to use very light touches with regards to making the eyes on this severed head and stuff. So it actually took me a minute to get this properly because I wanted it to be bright enough, but then not overly bright and out of space. So I took my time with it as the lightest touch I could possibly use. I did wish I made the background with a white glow in the dark. This would have been so much more better. I applied the white around to kind of give it a highlight to separate it from the black background. So you'll see that in like artworks or movies and stuff like that. They do that highlight just to show the light behind coming from the person. So it's just a technique that artists would use when they're doing stuff to separate the foreground from the background. I go ahead and added out the little fades and the unevenness in the hair. Did very light strokes as much as possible. And I'm going ahead and just reapplying the black just to make her silhouette more darker. And I extended the knife a little bit. And all in all, I really like this nail. I wish I had more time to do more with that whole concept of the scary child and probably giving her a brother or an uncle doing some crazy stuff for Halloween. But my client really liked it. I'm going ahead and applying matte top coat because this would have made the effect really even more effective and stuff. And yeah, I liked it. I hope you do too. And this is where I really kind of started getting lazy and stuff because I really didn't want to do the spider. I wanted to do like very dark, scary eyes, but I checked the clock and I was like, nah, I really don't have the time to do it. So I just removed it and just went with the typical spider, and I did the spider in red just to kind of utilize the colors from the previous nails and stuff like that to go with the theme. But this is not what I wanted to do. And because my client was already here and waiting, I didn't want to utilize up any more of her appointment time as well, even though she was mad cool with it, because even herself liked it, the client that was waiting. So I just did this little spider and boom, that was it. Top coated it and just got it out the way. But I did like the overall set. I did like the scary child or creepy child. I did. And maybe next year, Halloween, I'll try to do something even more scarier and, the sick looking. So let's see how that goes. Finishing off with the red gems. I didn't want to do the drop, the teardrop or the drip. So I just decided to put gems on. And my clients do like gems anyway, so it really didn't matter either way. I'm not gonna say that gem work is a specialty of mine. I do have it halfway decent as a strength, but I do like how to, do a little bit of placement and have that be a creative factor and stuff. Here I'm just outlining the gems after I've applied the gel glue and applied the gems. I'm just going over the sides and seals with actually matte top coat so that I don't see any shininess on the nail after the jam, so everything looks matte. Here's the final result. Hope you guys liked it. And while I do not celebrate Halloween, happy Halloween for those of you who do. Bless up yourself. Welcome it.